Hey guys, it's Kristen
Hey
and Bethany
y'all.
here. Thanks so much for joining the conversation. If you like this video, give us a thumbs
Boom.
up, 2 thumbs up. And if you want to see more from us, subscribe to our channel below. We post new videos every single week. And if you want to support this channel to help us keep going, click the link below to patreon.com/GirlDefined. The topic we're going to be having a conversation about today, I would say, is really geared towards young Christian women because this is something that as young Christian women, it can be so hard, so confusing. And I remember being in that stage where you're trying to navigate guy friendships, but then you're interested in some guys, but not others.
Feelings.
So like, how do you keep those boundaries? And I remember this one time where I had this guy friend who we were really great friends. And I think it's awesome that we can have really great guy friendships in a Christ honoring way. But if we're not careful, I think those guy friendships can go down roads that maybe we weren't intending them to go down. Like, now what am I going to do? So that's what happened to me. And there was this guy friend, and we actually had a conversation at the beginning of our friendship, like, hey, let's just become really good friends. You know, we really get along. We love hanging out, but it's never going to be anything more than friends, right? You agree, I agree. Okay, cool. We're just going to be friends. Like, as if that's going to really matter long term, right? But we thought, we're like, yeah, we've got it. Like, we made this
so
pact.
smart.
Yeah, and so we would hang out all the time, one-on-one. We would have these deep emotional conversations about life and our hearts and thoughts, and you know, it was all great at first, but then as time went on, naturally someone is probably going to get interested because you're spending all this time and you really enjoy
emotional. You're sharing your heart,
right? I mean, it's like you're pouring out your heart and you're spending all this one-on-one time. And so of course, like, one of us did, and in this case it happened to be him, and he got really like romantically interested. And I just remember being like, whoa, like, wait a minute, you know, because he was kind of hinting at wanting to take the relationship down a more romantic road, like becoming a couple. And I was like, I thought we agreed. And then I realized, you know, my actions were very confusing to him. Even though we said, okay, we're just going to be friends forever and we're going to agree to this. When you spend a lot of time one-on-one and you're emotionally involved and you're invested and you're just so invested in this relationship, chances are someone is going to get emotionally and romantically attracted to the other person. And so that's what happened. And looking back now, and even afterwards, I realized, you know, I need to be more careful. Like, we both need to be more careful. If we're going to say that this relationship is just going to be friends, then we need to be careful to make sure that our actions actually reflect that. And looking back at my heart, I'm like, in some ways it was like false advertisement. I'm telling him, like, let's just be friends. But then all of my actions were kind of pointing to the fact that maybe I wanted something more for the relationship, even though I didn't. So if you've ever found yourself in that spot, which I'm sure a lot of you have, you know how challenging it can be. So today we just want to unpack a little bit of how can we navigate that in a Christ-honoring way and have friendships with guys that we're not romantically interested in, that really do just stay friends.
You know, when I was a teenager, kind of like early 20s, like that whole phase where you're like, okay, you're not officially in a relationship maybe, but you're definitely interested in guys. But then you have guys who are interested in you and you're like, I'm for sure not interested in you. I remember feeling like, is it possible to be just friends with guys? Because I do think that it's so important to recognize, like, wow, God created two, you know, male and female. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And I think there can be so much benefit from having guy friendships. So in a moment of desperation, I was at a conference and there was a speaker that I really admired and trusted. And I remember there was a Q&A and I wrote down my question, is it possible to be just friends with guys? And there
like, is it possible?
It was like a breakout session and there were hundreds of people in there and my question was selected. And I remember she answered my question and she just, like, you know, was like, blah, saying stuff, but it was so extremely helpful. So I actually wrote about this in Love Defined, and I'm going to read to you the 2 things that she told me. So if you are single, you're a young Christian woman and you're thinking, I am desperate, I need help, I want to know how to be just friends with guys, maybe the advice she gave me will be helpful to you too. So she said, number 1, don't make your guy friendships all about the 2 of you. Do your best to keep your friendships focused on group settings. Work hard to incorporate others into the relationship. So that was the first thing she said. And immediately I was just reflecting on my own life and I was thinking, wow, the relationships that I'm concerned about because I feel like maybe he's getting interested in me, but I really just want to be friends with him. I realized, wow, I am making this friendship a little bit more one-on-one and kind of encouraging in a direction that I shouldn't. And if I just focused on more like group text, friend group text, group hangouts rather than these one-on-one, I think that would help a lot, you know?
That's where I went wrong. I mean, that was a huge part of it for sure.
The second thing was, she said, don't make the relationship deeply emotional and feelings oriented. Another thing.
Imagine that.
Try not to share deeply from the heart in ways that would draw you two together in an unhealthy and emotional way. Save the deep emotional stuff for your girlfriends. And so this one, you know, you can say, but I just get along better with guys. You know, if you want to make a million excuses, then you're going to have continued problems. But if you really want to make true change, it's going to be hard, you know? I literally went home and applied these 2 things that she said to a specific friendship that I was concerned about, feeling like a guy was interested in me. I was not interested in him, and I really just wanted to be friends, and I didn't want all the drama and the fallout of like, oh, you know, friends falling apart and all of that. So strategically, I went and applied these 2 strategies, and I started making things more group oriented, and I started to stop kind of sharing so deeply emotional and asking those deeply emotional questions, and really saved that more for my girlfriends. And really, the friendship changed so dramatically in such a healthy way. And I realized, wow, I have the power to navigate these friendships in a way that can be beneficial and loving to both him and myself. I don't just have to be a victim and say, oh, well, this is always going to happen. There are strategic things that we can do to really make the friendship and keep it in the context that we're really hoping for.
So if you find yourself struggling to keep guys in that just friend zone like we had, then we really hope these 2 like really strategies, I would say, just imply them. Like, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to make change. Sometimes you're going to have to like not do things you were doing or do things you weren't doing, just like we did, but it's so worth it. So we just encourage you to even take some time to pray and say, Lord, how can I be more Christ honoring in these friendships? How can I be more selfless? How can I genuinely love the guys that I'm around in a Christ-centered way, selflessly, for their good, for my good? How can I be intentional? How can I plan and think through these things and not just like blah, like whatever happens on social media and real life? Like, how can I be more intentional? And as you do that, I think you will see a huge difference in the way that you navigate guy friendships. And I think you'll find over time that you really can have guy friendships in a Christ-honoring way.
Again, thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can see when new videos come out. And of course, if you want to see this channel continue on, we are asking you to join us, to link arms with us, to help us continue creating videos and making this channel possible ad-free. So head on over to patreon.com/GirlDefined, where you can support us on a regular basis.
Relationships and all things. No, we did. For joining us today, we are... No, see, it's hard for me just to keep it basic. I'm like, let's just be friends. Okay. Your dog was waiting for a moment. And I saw your big eyes. I'll try to keep it more condensed.
Yeah, I was getting really long. 5 minutes later.
Gosh. Nice.